Excellent. George Porter Jr. live on WNCW. If you got another tune for us.
Yeah, Crying for Hope.
Title track.
The title track. Keep dreaming of the day when I could walk and say, I'm feeling so comfortable living in the USA. I'm trying for hope. My man, this ain't no joke. They keep telling me I'm wrong while they treat me like a threat. This is the place where I was born. My man, this is my home. I'm crying for hope. My man, this ain't no joke. Lots of words, saying all the wrong things. I need you as an airline, but all I see are friends. Even though I have a vote, our young men keep on dying on the streets where there's no hope. We're always talking answers, those answers never come. We can't let them or run us out of the place where we was born. I'm crying for hope. My man, this ain't no joke. We're crying for hope. There's more shout and vote.
George Porter Jr. live on WNCW in Studio B. Sounded good.
Thank you. Thank you.
How early is this for you?
Might be the earliest we played. I was thinking about
I've never played the gig this time of morning.
It's pretty sharp. I know that can be a challenge. I mean, you're on tour, so you're out fairly much like it's a pretty much a wall to wall experience, or how is it for touring with you? How do you manage to get sleep?
Oh, I sleep all day long. I mean, I'm in the van and I'm sleeping. I have my iPad. I turn it on. I got my, my Netflix and all that kind of stuff loaded onto it. But I start a movie but never finish it. I usually have
So
to.
if you got the gift of being able to sleep on planes or wherever,
Oh yeah, I can sleep everywhere. 10 minutes I'm gone. I mean, on a plane, when we flying, I always try and get an exit row seat. I have to just wait, and sometimes I kind of rush them. Say, hey, you got to ask me the question. Ask me the question. And when soon as she asked me the question, I said yes, and I close. I'm out.
that's great. I'd like to talk a little bit about the whole arc of your career and your sound a little bit, George, if you would, to take from where you got your voice on the bass and from your beginnings and sort of kind of helping to invent almost, completely out of whole cloth, a whole new style of music with the meters, and where you see funk both for yourself through your career and how you see that it has branched off of that. Can you tell us a little bit about those things?
No, that's probably my alter ego, and it doesn't come out in the daytime. No, I absolutely have no idea how it ended up where it was. It's like as a musician, when I was younger, I learned two things. One, I was a guitar player that Art never thought I was the worst guitar player on the planet, and but I wasn't a lead guitar player. I was a rhythm guitar player. I played rhythm, and that was it. But when a time because I had studied classical guitar at 8 years old, 8 to 10, I knew the formula of playing bass, so it was pretty easy to slide over to being a bass player. I was a very busy bass player until I met Alan Toussaint, and when we started doing those Lee Dorsey sessions. I was always told that it's not what you play, it's what you don't play that's going to make this song happen, So I learned about space, and been playing with the other three members of the Meters, Leo Nocentelli, Zigaboo Modelist, and Art Neville. I learned that one of the things I had to do really well was stay out of Art's left hand, because he always, he has his own mental concept about what his left hand should be doing, and most of the times it's bass lines, So I have to, I would have to kind of avoid collisions with him, So it was always, I think for me, it was always a part of listening to other, listening to the unit I'm in, and finding my space in that unit. Of course, two things that I did very, very well was I tried to play as close to the bass drum as possible and stay away from the backbeat, because that was always important. I learned that with Alan. You never play a note that's on the same beat as the backbeat, So I learned that. Now I abandon that every now and then, but for the most part, I don't.
And so how much of that is instinctual? How much of that is learned, the balance between head knowledge and just being on the fly?
Well, I think now I don't think about it anymore. I just kind of just, listen at what's going on around me, and play with these guys. I go off the reservation a whole lot. Michael always looking at me. Wrong note. But no, I believe that going off the reservation and being able to get back is because the guardian of the groove, the groove guardian he calls himself, he always know where one is, and so. So I mean, if I'm not listening, then I would be lost. But because I do listen, I kind of, it's easier for me to get back, back into the vehicle and continue down the road without a train wreck.
You've had so many accomplishments in your career, George. Are there any highlights that stand out?
Well, I mean, I've met a lot of the giants, and it's, I mean, meeting all those people is one thing, playing with them is another thing. But I don't think there's nothing that stands out more than anything else. I mean, meeting Sir McCartney, I think that's what he's called now. That was really good. There was some great photographs of him, myself, and Linda back when we first went to England. And then when we played his record release party on the Queen Mary a few years later after he did the recording session, I think it was Venus and Mars record, we got to spend some time together. Management screwed that up. But, I can't blame, yes, I can. Yeah. But, we met Rod Stewart, all those cats when I was young, and they weren't as big as, they got to be, when we first met them, I mean, Paul was, he was already huge when we first met him, but, I think the band called Faces was Ron Woods. Ron Woods was the bass player in that band before moving on to being the guitar player in the Rolling Stones. So I've been around a bunch of years. Oh my God.
Do you feel like there's anything left on the list that you want to accomplish that you haven't quite got to yet?
Well, I have a couple of things in mind that I really want to do. I really want to do a record with Warren. And I really want to do a record with John Scofield because, I mean, he's the, not the last, but, but the guitar players, the jazz guitar players that has leaned on the fusion side of the jazz thing. I want to do a jazz record, but I want to, I have not considered, who will all be a part of that jazz record. I may even hire a bass player just because I may not be the bass player because I just may not have that confidence. But I want to do a kind of a bebop jazz record. I was told by a local musicians back years ago that all the bebop has been played, and so I think it's my mission to write some new bebop that's going to be new. And so that's something I would really like to get done.
Oh, we'd love to hear that. That would be fun.
Yeah, I think it's going to be killing. Because I'm going to definitely fusion some bebop.
George Porter Jr. and the Runnin Pardners here on WNCW have a show tonight at Sierra Nevada at the High Gravity Room in Mills River, North Carolina. And the opener at 7, you guys are going on about 8:30.
No, they say it's 8 o'clock hard.
You're starting at 8.
Yeah, because they have a hard shutdown curfew, so we have to start at 8. So they call 8 o'clock. We'll be on stage at 7:47.
Sweet.